Previously in X-Men. Deadly alien witches, the Dire Wraiths are on the hunt. With her powers stripped away and her identity shattered, X-Men leader Storm finds solace with the mutant inventor Forge, like a comic book Romeo and Juliet. As they contemplate a possible future together, so far away from the superhero walk of life, the truth of Storm's accident comes to light. She walks out on Forge into a blizzard, and that's when the Wraiths strike, forcing Storm to go back to throw it all away like money for nothing. With the help of the mysterious Naze, Forge and Storm are almost defeated until, like brothers and sisters in arms, the X-Men arrive to try to even the odds against the alien witches. Sultans of Swing. I am Jason Lapidus.
And I am Chris Sanagan.
And we are Group of 7 Comics. Welcome to episode 108 of our ongoing Tuesday night live stream read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic. As we read Uncanny X-Men 188 by writer Chris Claremont, penciler John Romita Jr., and inker Dan Green. Cover date of 1984, December 1984. Chris, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really happy this is now a Dire Straits appreciation podcast.
Yes. Well, it was, we were inspired by our good friend and often guest, David Cutler, last week.
Right.
He, I think, started off that idea, and you can kind of never have too much Dire Straits, except for maybe verse 2 of Money for Nothing.
Are we due for a Dire Straits? Like 11 here. Are we due for some critical?
You mean you and I?
No, I just mean the world. Is the world ready for a return of Dire Straits?
I don't know. Did they ever go anywhere? I mean, I know that Mark Knopfler's, an active and amazing guitar player. So
right. I just, every now and again, another band from how many years ago has like a time again it comes back, and people go, "Man, this band was really good."
Well, they had their moment in the sun a long time ago in terms of like that superstar moment, when I guess with the whole Money for Nothing thing.
Money for Nothing.
It was quite a phenomenon when I was a little kid, and
then the Weird Al take on it too.
What was that? I forget.
He did the song, but it was the Beverly Hillbillies.
I don't remember that. That's okay. Somehow I'll survive. That's hilarious. Maybe we should just dive into the hottest X-Men thing of the week. Should we do that before we start our episode? What do you think?
Sure. I think actually that's a good. I was thinking that. I was thinking we should chat about that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Right?
All
Weird
right.
Al
if Chuck says it was awesome, then or amazing, then I'll go with it. Obviously, Super Bowl Sunday yielded many fun pop culture things, including the new teaser, not a trailer, but the first teaser of what looks to be called Deadpool and Wolverine, which is Deadpool 3. And we got that. What's it? 90 seconds or so. Just a little smattering of elements from the new movie. Other than the scenes or the stills, the screen grabs that I'm just about to show you, that are specific to our probably favorite Canadian mutant. Is there or were there any things that stood out for you just from the general?
Well, it's funny when I watched it just because of this show. I guess there has not been an X-Men focused product on film since we started this podcast 2 years ago.
Oh my goodness!
Or YouTube show. I don't know if there has been. I think because Logan had come out previous.
Sure.
All to say is that when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, hey, Colossus," and I was like, "Just
oh shit, I forgot to grab Colossus in there."
I was thinking X-Men the whole time.
Yeah.
or all the X related.
Yeah, if
X
anyone missed it, yeah, go.
Which seems to have now extra little oomph because we talk about X-Men every week.
Definitely. Did New Mutants drop on Disney Plus while we were running the show already? Maybe.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I think it was done. Like I think I remember talking to you about it, but I think it had already been out.
All right.
But that's how we caught it. Yeah, on Disney.
Chuck says, "Did we see any Tay-Tay in the trailer?" Nay.
Nay to the Tay-Tay, my friend.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think again it was just a tease, and that's the kind of thing that they would probably, if it's going to happen.
Okay, and secondly, the other piece that I spoke to you about, also X-Men on film, was it's been out now for a while, but we both finally caught the Marvels on Disney Plus.
True.
And again, it's been out for I don't think it'd be spoiling much, but in one of the mid-credit scene, we get another X-Men. X-Men reference character, returning character.
Should we stay on this and then go to that?
Sure. But okay. I'm just saying, that's all. I'm just saying the X-verse. We always talk about it like it's coming. We don't know it's going to come now. It just feels like it's.
So
that's all.
Other than the opening sequence of that teaser where they have the previously seen characters from the X Mansion that are pals with Deadpool, like Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Shatterstar,
Yukio and
Shatterstar,
who we thought was dead, but he has a time.
It doesn't matter.
I guess he has a time.
None of that matters. It can also be an alternate version of, like, you just have to, continuity just isn't, continuity is a thing for editors to worry about, and then that they've taught fans to worry about, taught readers to care about.
Well, I think,
it doesn't necessarily
cinematically.
What's that? Sorry, Chris?
No, I was going to say, but I would say that, yes, I think cinematically they've blown that out because of this new era we're in.
Most definitely.
Multiverses and multi-dimensions. Right.
Probably the first moment of the trailer that, or the teaser that got me out of my chair was just seeing this, which for people, of my vintage is right away, a reference to Wolverine in Madripoor with that white suit on and that patch over his eye where he goes under the alias of Patch for a little bit and is working
I believe it's Patch Adams.
Yes, he was Patch Adams. So this is a nice nod to that, and we'll see how much that plays out. So that was the first thing that got my attention.
Sure.
I'm wondering if they're going to even go, considering how much they seem to love the source material and teasing us and having fun with the audience.
Yeah,
I bet you they'll throw an eye patch on them and they'll make a comment like, "Oh, thanks Clark Kent for put on your glasses," like one of those kinds of, no one's going to recognize you, So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. It's fun. There's an action figure of this version of him coming out right now as well.
The tuxedo.
Yeah, the white tuxedo. Him and the Hulk, both in their matching tuxedos.
2-pack.
And then another moment is we get I don't even know the actor's name, so feel free to throw it in the chat or, you can mention it.
Jordan something.
Okay, so he played Pyro in X2, which of those first 3 X-Men movies was my favorite. I don't know about you. And so he's in X2 and X3, and I don't think that they would put him in the movie if he wasn't playing that character.
Trevor Duvall is the actor's name.
Okay.
Trevor Duvall.
Any relation to Robert?
No, it's not that kind of Duvall. It's not a Duval. It's a Duvall.
Thank you. So, given that he just needs a lighter, he doesn't have to have the flamethrower or any of that stuff. He's not the character's not supposed to be fireproof, right? So he having some good sturdy gloves and goggles and all that. That kind of, the red eyes that matches the character's kind of color scheme, that red and orange.
Sure.
Those red tones. So I think we can probably all agree this is supposed to be Pyro in some version.
Some version, yeah.
And I don't know who's supposed to be under the hood, but that's part of the fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, of course, we got the first reveal of Logan, popping his claws, which then is followed up pretty quickly by he steps on screen.
Yeah.
And it's so weird seeing him, in the yellow costume.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it. His hood is, I think, is it on his back, or maybe it's not. His helmet's not on at all. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you liking the idea of him wearing the suit in the movie?
The yellow and blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
It's so weird with sleeves on it though, like yellow sleeves. Obviously,
Right.
it's just my.
I'm fine. There's like a tactical suit he wears. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And color it, with a nice nod to. I think the one thing that we'd always thought of or talked about, it seemed to be the top of conversations: will there be a mask or not? Because we're so used to seeing him on screen without one.
Right.
How do you make it look good? Because he looks great unmasked as Wolverine.
He does. I think that just to do the fan service, just to give everyone what they're looking for. We all want to see him in a mask or a helmet, whatever they're going to call it. Mm-hmm. And I think given that it's going to be in a Deadpool movie, which is action comedy, it doesn't have to make sense, so to speak. The same way it would when you're watching a movie like Logan, for instance.
Right.
Everything needed to be grounded in a version of reality that was easy to suspend our disbelief. With this one, I think everyone goes in. It's it's a Disney movie. It's a Fox Marvel thing. We can just let things go and just have a good laugh and not worry about how it makes sense.
You get the sense there's going to even be like a joke directed at him wearing the mask, and he's like, "Fine, I'll take it off," or something like,
Sure. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, and those are just the four sort of grabs that I took that I thought were meaningful for that. But I don't know. There you go.
Well, and then of course the whole, I'm like, oh, it's the TVA. It's the whole...
right. So that's now like the story. Yeah. Are they're just like the middle ground, like the gatekeeper to allow
I guess
Deadpool to go to the world where Wolverine and the Marvel universe, and,
right? I guess
it just means to an end.
But it's funny seeing it though, because it was introduced to us in this other series.
Sure.
And so to see it, just a different, but we like, if you're following the Marvel product, television, whatever. If that series, I'd be like, who the hell are you? We would have had no introduction to this multiverse type time authority thing. And I just realized the one thing that did come out that's X related that we were during the show would have been Multiverse of Madness with the Professor Xavier cameo.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
With no mask on, right?
No mask.
Yep. The TVA, if you want to play around with, I think we can already kind of sort of figure out a lot of how the movie's going to work. We're going to all just get what we want. We're going to get to see Deadpool go on some adventure to do something for this Shadow Time organization, and it's going to, of course, not go the way anyone thinks, and crazy stuff's going to happen, and hilarity and action ensues.
And body count goes up because it looks like there's a bunch of just like, just a bunch of. You need an organization full of people, bad guys, villains, goons, whatever, that he can just go through.
Sure.
This seems to have unbelievable amounts of them.
If you don't have the TVA, you can also just do like, it's an Asgardian who has access to the portals, or it's whatever, or Doctor Strange. Again, you can just you can magic that shit. You can Scooby-Doo that shit. Like it's not that challenging a writing job. It's quite a creative cop out. It lets you do whatever you want, which is, again, I think it's basically there to play with the action figures. So let them play and have a good time. I'm looking forward to it. End of July, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It should be fun.
Is that the next? That's the next one, right? I think we maxed this a week ago. Maybe.
I think it is the next MCU. If that's what we're after that, I couldn't even tell you what's coming next.
I couldn't even
It
tell you
feels like it's been so weird this entire phase, or the phases. Just yeah, the further we go, the more I'm just like, yeah, first 10 years. That's my after Endgame. I'm emotionally checking out more and more each time, and I think that's okay. You know,
Right.
I'm coming up on
Right.
50, and it's,
Right.
it's okay for me not to care too much. But I'm at the point where I'm, from an action figure point of view. So I have, you know, out there, if anyone here on the show doesn't know, I have a decent action figure collection, and I have a shelf in my collection room that is MCU. Like, it's the whole span. It goes from the beginning to the end of the story, and it focuses on Cap and Iron Man and the different iterations and the things that happen around them. I'm ready to take it down for the most part, with the exception of maybe a few key pieces to leave up. Maybe like one of each character or whatever. But I think I'm going to take them mostly down and get a good G.I. Joe shelf going.
Oh, that's you're thinking of it. I was going to say,
well, I want to do an X-Men one in here for the show, but I don't really have a good spot. But anyway, yeah, my G.I. Joes are the emphasis is shifting. Anyway,
sure.
That being said,
sure.
That's my test, right? My heart test is if I want to think about those stories more, if my imagination and my heart are there, that's all then that means that they're working on me. And if they're not working on me, I'm just not thinking about those things after I watch them. Usually I would come home from an MCU movie and want to watch it again right away. And that just hasn't happened in ages. Like, I saw Infinity War and Endgame in theaters, I'm pretty sure 3 times each, with people that I really wanted to watch with. And it was like never difficult to watch them again. And I don't really want to see any of the movies again that I've watched recently. So I think Spidey, No Way Home, I've watched again a few times because there's so much to enjoy there with the cameos of the guys. And I've watched Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness a couple times as well.
Yeah.
But if I ever have to watch Quantumania again, I'm not going to be happy about it.
Right. You're not going to be happy, no.
No, I will not. Chuck says, Deadpool is the only MCU movie this year. That's great and
that's
crazy.
Saying something, though, right? That's really saying something, right? And it's probably the most anti-MCU movie to come out based on its content and its approach, right? So it's not really... It's playing the action figures to your point, but it's
Hey man, Trevor 16 Shooters here. He says, G.I. Joe, yeah man. I love my I like vintage Hasbro G.I. Joe, but I've been collecting the classified 6-inch scale, and I'm enjoying them a lot. Trevor adds, the writing is terrible. The Marvels was a travesty, except for Ms. Marvel. Yeah, I think it's less and less for our shared taste, and they're reaching into other areas for other audience members. And if it's working, great. As long as I want them just to continue, even if they're not for me, because there are so many movies that are hitting my sweet spot, or so many shows that hit my sweet spot, like Blue Eye Samurai, for instance. So I don't mind if, it's hard for me to tell if the writing's objectively bad or just doesn't hit me. But regardless of whether it is good or bad, I'm just letting it go. If that makes any sense. Yeah. Chuck says, a combination of the strike and a heavy rethink about what Disney is doing. Yeah. That's big. Making Captain Marvel and Photon jump rope to test their skills was embarrassing. Yeah. I mean, maybe. I wasn't too embarrassed by it, but again, our mileage varies, so it's cool. But they're not even writing good female characters. Like, take the word female out. Just, are they writing good characters? I don't know. They're not resonating with me, generally speaking. So whether they're male or female doesn't mean much to me. I just want to see good characters. Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, there's so much more that I am enjoying. It's not MCU. Creatively, I'm not. I'm still watching. I'm I watch all the shows. I give it a pass. Like
Mhm.
I watch through them, and I'm of course
Mhm.
looking forward to Daredevil Born Again. Hopefully that kind of is targeting a viewer more like me, and that my taste for a little bit of gritty violence and punished characters. I like
Mhm.
that kind of thing. So
Mhm.
we will see. We'll see how that goes. Do you want to do this comic here,
Yeah.
Chris?
Well, I was going to say quickly
Oh, please.
because we brought it up, and again, these references, and Trevor's talking about the Marvels and things, and so for those not in the loop, or if we're going to check out the Marvels, the mid-credit scene of the Marvels features, a character entering into a place where she's unfamiliar, perhaps some kind of other kind of universe, dimension, however we want to call it, and in that dimension universe, she wakes up in a hospital bed, and
Or a
Hank McCoy,
laboratory.
a laboratory, and Hank McCoy Beast is there, voiced by Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
A CGI Beast.
Very CGI.
Very CGI Beast. Like not even motion capture Beast. But blue furry, we're in the lab coat, right?
Yeah.
And Kelsey Grammer, and then also another version of the Monaco Rambeau character, but playing binary, right?
Not Monica Rambeau. It's her
No.
mother.
Oh, is Monica is Photon? Is that the
Monica is Photon. Who did they name her Photon in the movie?
They didn't. They didn't give her a name because that was
Okay.
one of the
So
long.
Captain Rambeau,
Captain Rambeau,
who we
Thank
know as Photon, or she has a couple other superhero names,
Yeah.
including Captain
Well,
Marvel.
she
of
shows
course.
up as the alternate Captain Marvel in Multiverse of Madness.
That's her mother.
No,
Again.
that's what I'm talking about. That same actor.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Yeah, the mom character from Captain Marvel who dies in, I guess, WandaVision, who's dead in WandaVision.
Yes.
So she comes back as.
It's an easy alternate because like she was the other pilot in that project. So if she's the one piloting the plane with Marvel, then
But we had so many comics with Binari.
So to see them do a
Carol
live action
Danvers.
version of Binary, that was
it
was crazy to see that costume, like Dave Cockrum's costume.
Yeah.
Very homaged up, like it was done like the bikini, the bathing suit style of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny to see that play out.
Yeah. Anyways, all to say again, just that happens in your mid credits, and you're kind of like, what the?
Yeah.
Anyway, but talking about the X-verse coming to
MCU,
stuff, right? So to see that, and especially having read and talked about those comics specifically with Binary in the last year, because that's just the trajectory we were on, was kind of, for me, it was kind of fun to see.
Sure.
But I wouldn't have known, like, if we'd not done this show, I'd be like, I don't know who that is. Right? I would have known who Beast was, but I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really fun to engage with those characters through the comic, and then have it mean more kind of once you get to the movie. I'm excited to see things like Binary. It's like an extra, like, oh my god, I claim her almost like she's part of this shared experience that we're having with this show. So it is fun to see them in live action, and to imagine like it's taken so many years. Or those comics are early '80s, and it is really weird to see it. But anyway.
So many years.
Yeah. There you go. All right, let's get into Uncanny X-Men, which, by the way, it's no longer uncanny on the cover. This is a couple issues now. I'm going to look at last issue because we didn't talk about it, but we did talk about it on in Life Death. It was just regular X-Men. This is back to Uncanny last issue.
Okay.
But of course, it doesn't mean that it's not actually called Uncanny, because what happens on the cover is just a cover. It's how it's registered technically. And of course, it is registered as Uncanny X-Men, Volume 1. Number 188. So it doesn't really change anything. I'm also following along in Essential X-Men Volume 5, this beautiful, amazing tome. This is a real big fat book and a beautiful read along. But I've got the OG here as well, which is just such a joy. first impression when I came across that cover, I did not know what was going on. And then I finished the issue and I was like, hey, what's going on the cover?
Exactly that cover is what? Yeah, no, I felt the exact same way. When I opened her up to have a look and was like, I have no idea what's going on here, and I have to like squint and like, what's going on? So
so
choices are made.
For anyone who is following along, actually, we can pull it up here.
Mm-hmm.
So the cover, I mean, Nightcrawler really stands out. I see him. I see Colossus. Like all the characters,
he's got the tail,
yellow and black. At first, I thought it was sort of like a character against the New Mutants in some way.
Yeah, so that's what I thought too. I thought it was like a New Mutants thing with the color scheme. Yeah,
yeah. But either way, it's Rachel Summers.
Yes,
psychically, telepathically attacking. And going after Nightcrawler's groin. So
oh yeah, it's a straight psychic bolt right to the groin.
Yeah,
Ah!
Yeah, interesting one. It not what I expected, but let's go all the way in and get through this issue and then recap at the end or figure it out. Take stock of things.
Oof, all right, here we go.
Stan Lee presents Legacy of the Lost. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
I think it just sounds good.
It does, Legacy of the Lost, sure. How quickly sometimes the tables can be turned. This issue, by the way, has a lot of Claremont verbosity in places that you maybe don't need it. Weird stuff going on, so characters are crashing. I don't really know. Like, that's snow coming in those windows.
Yeah, there's a blizzard happening outside, right?
There is a blizzard happening outside, which we will get back to. It makes you think the characters are coming through the window, and that's why they're flying. But there isn't a lot. Like, there isn't broken glass.
No, and this picks up exactly at the end. So if you remember the end of last issue, 187, there was this shadow creature thing with some faces in it that grabbed hold of them all.
Right, the Dire Wraiths are this alien witch species that want to take over Earth and kill everybody, and they conjure up a few things, including a demon dog, which was a strange little dude that was sort of there for no reason, just to have an additional threat. And then they also conjure up this black void full of faces.
Very strange.
Yeah, I'm gonna go after JRJR in a little bit.
Do it.
But let's get into the issue first, and we'll see how far we go. By the way, Leafs won 4-1. Played a gritty game against St. Louis. So there you go.
Hat trick too, by the way.
Yeah, but not for one of the big boys, which is great.
Bobby McMahon.
Yeah, happy to see it.
For the Marlies. Well done.
Okay. Let's continue. A moment ago, the X-Men believed this battle won. Their foes, a cadre of alien Dire Wraiths, utterly destroyed. Now it is they who stand in deadly peril, as without warning, loathsome shadow beings erupt through a rift in the very fabric of space itself to overwhelm our heroes and begin to drag them inexorably toward the dimensional gateway, leading them to their own sorcerous realm.
Ooh,
there you go. Chris Claremont, Romita Jr., Dan Green, and the regular cast of troublemakers making this comic. And my printer is talking for some reason.
It is.
Do I need to close my printer or somewhere on my computer? I should shut up. It's my scanning tray is just having a party over there for no reason. All right. Can you hear that?
Absolutely, I can hear it. Yeah.
If it does it again, I'll turn it off. But for right now, it's fine.
All right. Our weapons, our fists, have no effect on these creatures. They don't seem to possess physical substance. Storm, use our official leg. If I can get free, I might be able to find a way to help us all.
These shadow beings seem to sense my intent. They're trying to stop me.
Careful, woman, you almost hit me.
If I do, when I do, rest assured, Forge, It shall not be by accident.
She means that. Pal, when you make yourself an enemy, you don't fool around. And considering what I did to her, though, it's probably no less than what I deserve. Worry about that later. Storm's giving you a chance. Don't blow it. I get the same emanations off these shadow beings as I did off the Wraiths. They must be mystical in nature. They merge their substance with our flesh, turning us into creatures like themselves. They didn't affect me as much as the others because of my metal protheses, but don't know how long I have before the process becomes irreversible. It may already be too late. Naze, answer me, old man. This is no time for your idiot games. Where the devil are you, Shaman? I need you. Naze!
Toy Rensu says, sup geeks, sup nerds. There you go, man. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Hope you're getting some good action figures and you're a happy dude.
Nice.
Look how much wordage there is in that panel. Just, you get Forge hopping down on one leg down the stairwell.
The one-legged hop. The one-legged hop down the stairs.
Not easy. There's no railing. I mean, come on.
No, I know. That's actually really impressive.
Yeah, but so many words. I find, really, Ramita Jr. is being very economic. I really should have looked ahead of time to see how many other comics he was making this month. Like, he might be on 2 titles.
Right.
Because every page he seems to take a flyer, like he seems to take a pass on any kind of detail in certain spots where, having all this black on that and that stairwell, like no details, it makes it a lot easier to do. So I get it, and I wouldn't criticize him for that. He's got to get a job done, and he's always been amazing at that. But it's pretty noticeable at times. So there you go. Mm-hmm. However, upstairs, at the very apex of Forge's penthouse complex, in the center of a sacred ring, before we go, am I reading Naze this time? I don't remember. There are some scenes where it would be better if I do for the back and forth.
Go for it.
So do you want to be the deity here as well? And I'll be Naze?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure.
All right. Hear me, great one. I come in humble supplication. Aid my people in the hour of our greatest peril. In exchange, we offer this world and all on it, to do with as you will. What? Fire exploding outward from the circle? The patterns being formed have never seen their like. No! My wards, they aren't protecting me. But this is impossible. It cannot be. Mercy, great one. I beg you, have mercy.
Foolish mortal, you ask for what I do not give, and offer that which I already possess. Your form is well known to me, Naze, shaman of the Cheyenne. We have met and fought before, yet your soul, I see, is changed, is alien. No matter now, both are mine. Can you remind me for a second, and maybe any of the people following along here, the Dire Wraiths shapeshift? They attach to you and then transform into you. So their body has become your body, but their soul stays their soul. So this guy is a Dire Wraith? Is that what happened? Good question.
Didn't he get but then he'd be dead.
Yeah, he didn't get zapped.
He didn't get zapped? But then why is there a Dire Wraith as part of this panel on the left there?
Is it because the ceremony that I don't know.
He says, yet your soul I see is changed. It is alien. So his soul is an alien soul.
But you're right. Every other Dire Wraith we've seen has killed the person and the person has become goo.
I feel bad that I'm kind of forget, but maybe if there's a page where it's all you reading, I'll go back and look. But let's move forward anyway, because there's some good action here. Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, one of the world's busiest, completely paralyzed by this midsummer night by a freak blizzard, the like of which no one has ever seen. And no wonder, it's because of the casket of ancient winters, courtesy of recent events in Thor. Thank you, Anne, who's shivering. So if you've ever seen, for instance, the movie Thor, they have these like stones that the bad guys have in the first Thor movie. This like rock, this kind of boxy rock thing that like makes all this frost the frost giants have. So that thing, it's also called the Casket of Ancient Winters in their episodes of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, where like I think the Enchantress maybe gets it, or I don't remember who gets it, but it's a whole thing with like, snow and stuff. And if you're reading Walt Simonson's Thor, it does play a role, which really explains what that snowstorm was last issue too.
Mm-hmm.
We were reading it, like our interpretation of it was that it maybe was connected to her lack of control of her powers, and maybe was hinting that there was still some connection between her feelings and the weather, but it just wasn't something that she could control. But it's now become clear that it is actually a cross 616 storyline.
Right, which probably would have been worthwhile having this little footnote in the last issue.
Yeah, that would have been a good footnote last time, but they missed. There, in the first class cabin in a stranded TWA 747, Miss Sefton.
Miss Sefton.
Sorry, yours is better. Go.
Miss Sefton. The demon grabbed her and they disappeared.
At that very moment, 100 feet overhead. Nightcrawler! Are you crazy? How dare you pull a stunt like that? How am I going to explain it? Put me back at once.
Can't do that, Liebchen. You know I wouldn't have done this if there'd been any other way.
You sound so grim, Kurt. What's the matter? And why are you smiling in the picture if you sound grim?
Right. Looking very cool in the captain's car.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a witch, Amanda. The X-Men have desperate need of your unique talents. I'll explain en route. I don't think we see enough of Amanda Sefton anymore.
No, I
and
dig
maybe
it.
She's dead.
She's
dead. I have no idea.
Just
I like it.
Can you go back to that page for a second?
Oh, of course. Yeah, sure. Was it the Oreo cookie thing you want to see?
The Oreo cookie? No, it was not that. I'm sure some kids did the coloring though, but I'm
sure they did.
It is that the plane, I think it's either hovering or flying by. I'm not sure which, but this drawing is not doing either of those explanations any favors. It is the most boring version of the coolest airplane in comics. And like, you either put that thing on a tilt, do something with it, or if it's hovering, show me those thrusters. Like, you got to do more than this. It's not just frozen through telekinesis. This is an incredibly powerful moving object. It's either resisting gravity, and you need to show that, or it's flying at an incredible speed, and you need to show that. This is like doing neither of those things. And I'm not.
Come on, JR.
Not a great storytelling moment. Like, obviously, beautiful rendering,
sure,
but not good storytelling there.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. He'll explain en route. I'm looking forward to that explanation. After programming the X-Men's specially modified SR-71 Blackbird aircraft to hover safely above Eagle Plaza, but that's where it is now, hovering over Eagle Plaza. The German-born mutant teleports his lady love into Forge's penthouse. By the way, lady love and penthouse. Anytime you put those two things together in a paragraph, you know good things are happening. The sight that greets them isn't pretty.
Zim Turfel, save them, Amanda, if you can.
I'll do my best, hon. Mother, wherever you are, give me strength. Her spells stab into the core of the shadow mass, partially disrupting it, and allowing some of the X-Men to struggle free.
Not even the brood were so foul and evil. I am weak, but Aurora and Rogue look far worse. I must see to them.
Okay, now here I'm going to go after him again.
Do it.
So I do find generally, and it seems to be the popular consensus about JRJR, that he is a clear cartoonist. Like when he draws, you always know what's going on. His pages have flow. This might be an issue where those things are not at their best. But what I'm going to criticize him for here is character design. These monsters, it's the most like boring it could possibly be. I know there's supposed to be a shadow mask, but it just feels like he's spending his time going as fast as possible and not like this. This is supposed to be something where we actually fear for the X-Men. Just being this black space that has arms and eyes that grab at them, it feels just really underwhelming as an opponent in a medium that can be so dynamic. I would have gone after Cockrum for coming up with something that looked lame, but this just looks so uninspired. And it's never, his monsters have never really been his famous strength. If you look at like his famous runs on books, even his great run on Daredevil, his version of Mephisto is like not the coolest Mephisto of all time. So it's not his strength to have these weird interdimensional monsters, and I find them really boring to look at. But anyway, that's me.
Yeah,
cool.
They seem kind of uninspired.
Yeah.
Unlike Richard Pryor's Place, which seems to be super inspired.
He seems to be the exact right person to put as a focal figure for a bunch of children to watch on a Saturday morning.
Programming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the movie called The Toy?
No, I don't think I did.
It is about a guy who works in a department store owned, I believe, by Jackie Gleason. And his little brat, spoiled kid, sees Richard Pryor playing with a toy in the toy store called Wonder Wheel, and he decides he wants to buy Richard Pryor because he's funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Totally inappropriate. And so Richard Pryor takes the gig because there's some major money in it, and he basically becomes the surrogate best friend and father figure for this boy who's neglected.
Right.
And it's a sweet pairing of this rich spoiled kid and Richard Pryor's comedy. But it was there's a scene where they're wearing matching Spider-Man pajamas, and it's adorable.
Okay.
And that's why I bring it up, because of the Spider-Man pajamas. All right.
Peter, get away before. Too late. By the White Wolf. Rogue absorbs the abilities and personalities of any living thing she touches. Her contact with these horrors is transforming her into a wraith. Hold me tight, my dear friend. I need you so. Hold me close. The better I may consume your body and soul. Push him what? The barbed tongue can penetrate my armored flesh. If Rogue stabs into my brain, she'll steal my thoughts, my memories, my features, my very life. But how can I save myself without maiming or killing her? Though possessed, she is still my comrade. She is not responsible for her actions. Should I do nothing and die? That is madness.
Just then, what a mess. Score one for you, Professor. Looks like the big boys do need my help.
Was? Who? Illyana Rasputin?
Trouble is, my magics aren't too terribly effective on this plane of existence. The only real weapon I've got is my soul sword. On cue, the eldritch blade appears like its young mistress, seemingly from nowhere. It is the ultimate expression of Illyana's power as a sorceress. Few spells or mystic creatures can stand against it.
Spasiba. Is that what it is? Spasiba?
Yep. Yeah, that means thank you.
Spasiba, my sister.
Anytime, big bro. No hiding it now. He knows what I really am. I wonder how he feels. I love him so I couldn't bear it if he turned away from me. As the shadow beings soon discover, my gleaming armor's appearing again. It pops up whenever I summon the sword, and there's more of it each time. What happens when the suit's complete?
Rogue, She's human once more. But she's so pale. Is she even breathing?
Do not touch her, Peter. Put on gloves. Put gloves on first. Or the slightest touch will transfer your powers to her.
I forgot, Roro. I'll be careful.
Reinforcements, Aurora? No problem. Professor... Oh, I think it's the other way. Reinforcements, Aurora? Professor Xavier must have sent her. Amanda, can you seal the Shadow Gate? No problem. So much for that idea. As there's a giant roar. Look at that panel with a roar. The monster is back, but
I also think it's, you know, we get little bits. So we had little bits of Amanda Sefton being like a sorcerer of some kind. No real idea of her power set.
No.
Or what she's capable of, or what she's most effective at, or how her magic, you know, the specificity of her magic, I guess, right? But I do love that she just kind of shows up and is like, "Can you seal the Shadow Gate?" Of course I can. Like, it'd be nice if there's a bit more of a context of like her power set, so we could be like, "Oh yeah, she's good at that." Anyway,
I think that would imply more intention than is actually being delivered from Mr. Claremont and team. Yeah, they really are making a lot of the stuff up as they go.
They really are.
And that's normal for, you know, a 1984 comic book from Marvel.
So. I think so, yeah.
I like this, though. So bad guys just up the ante, Aurora, in a big way. My energy web isn't holding back. Let me try.
Yeah. Although that's a cool leap. That's great with the sword. That's a fun leap.
But wouldn't there be like 5 other really great ways of showing that? You know what I mean? Like, you have this character, this kid character coming at it with a flaming sword. There's gotta be. I mean, if anything's worthy of a bigger panel and something more dynamic, like I'm game. And then I don't even know what knocks her.
Mm-hmm.
Just giant hands? Is that? I mean,
it's a giant. Yeah, we don't see it.
Yeah, a 2-fisted punch. I don't even know. We get the after effect with the whammo, but you know, there you go. I also wouldn't mind if they maybe gave either Ileana or Amanda a more dramatically different look. I mean, one looks like to be strawberry blonde, and one looks to be blonde.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not the easiest, no, for sure.
And I know in later years, actually very soon, Magik starts to get those, like, her demon child persona comes out more, so she gets those horns in the front, and even like you know, kind of demon goat hooves, and it really makes her so much cooler when she goes into battle, and you're like, oh, this is some sort of devil, you know. It's awesome. It might have been, there you go. It wasn't Ramita's decision, obviously, at this point, but get out of here, all of you, while you have the chance. I'll cover you. Go, Kurt, I mean it. I can't last much longer. As hard and as fast as I cast my spells, some other force counters them. You mean another witch? The Wraiths are witches. We thought them all slain, but suppose we were wrong. The roof, Nightcrawler. Teleport there. Teleport up there, now.
But why? Amanda, I won't leave. You heard the lady, Fuzzy. Do it. I'm coming with you. If you insist, Herr Forge, but I warn you. It isn't a pleasant ride. You get used to it. Oh, that's an understatement. I feel turned inside out. You get used to it. What are we looking for? Storm fought a wraith up here. She locked it out. Bugger is extraordinarily sensitive to cold. She figured it'd freeze to death. She should have made sure. Too weak for its spells to bash the door down, but still able to give your lady fits.
Enjoy your triumph, mammal, while it lasts. We have laid claim to your world, and we will not be denied.
Forge, What are you going to do? Don't ask foolish questions, X-Man. Pew!
Best panel in the book, I think.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid panel.
If you were a fan of the official handbook of the Marvel Universe,
yes,
this was one of the images on Forge's.
Okay.
Insert his pages. Well, what am I trying to say here? Anyway, his
sure.
His entry.
I also like how he has reattached a new leg.
He has what?
He has reattached a new leg.
Right? Yeah, when he hopped down the stairs, he got a new leg.
He went down the stairs to get the. Yeah.
Yeah. I like how Nightcrawler wears his Errol Flynn like pilot hat and scarf into battle.
It's like he's in the Blackhawks.
Yes.
Is it the Blackhawks? Darkhawks?
Blackhawks from DC.
From DC, there, right? Yeah. Blackhawk. What did they say? They're like Blackhawk. Sorry. Okay, who's speaking now?
I think that's Forge.
Oh, it's Forge. That's Forge. T'Cha. Be a while before this place is livable. At least you're around to fix it, my man. Something bothering you, mister? Consider me squeamish. Killing does not come as naturally to me as to others. Excuse me, please. I must see to my friends.
Rest, hon. Let my magics ease your pain. Professor Xavier was monitoring your situation over the Blackbird's comlink. Oh, Aurora, is it true what we've heard? That you lost your powers? Yes. I'm so sorry. I too. But what happened next? I'm a teleporter. Kind of like Nightcrawler. That's my mutant power, or that's my mutant power. But I'm also a sorceress. The prof hoped my soul sword would make the difference. Glad it did.
A sorceress? I knew you would change in limbo Ilyana Nikolovna?
Nikolovna.
When you were Belasco's captive, but I never realized quite how much.
I was more than the Demon Lord's captive, Peter. I became his apprentice.
Whatever you were, you will forever remain my sister. And little snowflake, a braver, truer, lovelier girl does not exist on this planet, or any other. Naze! I should have guessed. What did you do, old man? Try to summon the Great Spirit himself? Why did I ever build this bloody sanctum in the first place? Didn't I learn my lesson in Nam? No more magic, ever!
How is he?
Alive. Barely. I've got to get him to a hospital.
I wish him well. We shall be gone when you return.
No. I won't let things end like this between us.
And how, pray tell, O master of lies, will you stop me?
Aurora, please.
Do not follow Forge. Do not try to find us. Suggest to your federal associates they do the same. Cheer up, warrior. Our story is far from ended. We shall meet again.
And then?
You may well wish we had not.
Whew.
So this is what I mean about the black space. Like, I realize this space is some, secret sanctum that he's created. But of these panels, like, he drew no background anywhere. No texture, no nothing. And it feels like a bit of a cop-out to this degree. Like that door, if I don't know, if he's so high-tech, let's get a sliding door. But just give me that. Give me the sense of the tile on the floor or whatever it is. Just something.
Right.
A little more thought into the environment. Maybe there's still like mist or smoke, or there was just fire there before. So give me something. But this I find is a bit cheap. But I do love that Forge is devastated, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about lately.
What's
I've
that?
been thinking a lot about Lee Forrester. Have you been thinking about Lee Forrester?
Tell you what, there's one character that hasn't been around nearly enough lately. It's Lee Forrester.
Captain Lee Forrester. Man, 73 to what? How do you read that, by the way? 73 degrees, 12 feet.
Sure.
I don't know how to actually read west longitude by whatever north latitude. Roughly the heart of the infamous Bermuda Triangle. Didn't she learn her lesson?
No.
Come on. Man in the water. Sorry, you go.
You can do it.
Well, who do you think it is? Is it the...
I think that's the guy.
Paolo?
Yeah.
So does he have an accent? Because I'm scared. Oh, Chuck, look at you, man.
Does he have a...
Chuck says 73 degrees, 12 minutes.
Okay.
Minutes is the dash? Okay.
Does Paolo have like a lighthouse keeper accent? You know? Arr! Does he like talk like that? Does he talk like Captain? Who's with the Lego movie?
Metal Beard. Do you do Metal Beard for your children?
I do R's. I do pirate stuff.
I regularly do Metal Beard for my children, but
Man in the water.
Oh yeah, no, he's great.
Yeah.
But okay, do you want to? So who do you think this is, Paolo, or do you think this is Lee?
I think this is Paolo.
You want to do your Metal Beard then? Go for it.
Man in the water, off the port quarter. Man in the water.
Where away, Paolo?
Couple of 100 yards. See him?
Shark gun, Paolo, fast! Can Arcadia get to him?
Not with the nets out. We're stuck where we are. What's the point, skipper? Poor guy's a gunner.
Oh, you said goy. Poor guy's a gunner.
Poor guy's a gunner.
He's moving. He's still alive. Cover me, Paolo.
Lapidus Forrester. Are you crazy?
No time to unship the Zodiac. I'll have to swim for him. Whoever he is, he's got a passel of saints. What's a passel? A passel of saints sitting on his shoulders. A great white that size should have bitten him in half. No boat, no wreckage, no Coast Guard alerts. How'd this guy get out here anyway? Paolo's shooting the shark. That's code, by the way. Beat it, Buster. Try something else for lunch. She gives him a boot in the nose. That's like that old myth. You punch a shark in the nose, and it's like the most vulnerable place. Can I debunk that though? You know where you hit a shark?
In the
you're cutting in and out there, buddy. I can't hear you.
Okay, what?
You punch a shark in the gills.
In the gills.
You get him in the gills. Yeah.
Get him in the gills.
Or in the scrot, one or the other.
Yeah, right. I love, by the way, that she's the captain. He's like, "You dumb broad, put in a stupid stunt like that. Suppose you'd missed that fish taking off your blame leg."
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Oh, sure.
Don't yell, Paolo, and don't call me a broad.
That's Captain Broad to you.
Get the medical kit. Hey. The suit's made of... Oh, sorry, that's you.
Hey, this crazy suit's made of chainmail. Saved your life, mister.
Then I'm in its debt. And I see yours as well, Captain Forrester.
Lee? You know this fella?
Magneto.
Magneto. Excellent. You didn't mess it up. It's Magneto. Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes.
Chuck says, that's the most Irish Paolo I've ever heard. Bravo. Lorenzo says, punch him in the nads. That's exactly what you do to shark. Yeah.
Cool Spider-Man ad here. And the Mr. T
Panther and Sons. Oh my God. I remember Snorks. This is when I was watching, obviously, TV. I'm 9 years old at this point. So Saturday mornings were a big deal.
Going bananas.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was the highlight of my Saturday mornings, though. I absolutely loved it.
Sure. Yes. Right. Right. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Pink Panther and Sons. Are those like all the Pink Panthers like kids?
Well, he has a lot of illegitimate offspring, right? He's a guy that smooth. I mean, come on.
Didn't. That's what I mean. Damn.
Yeah, Mr. T. Yeah, it was crazy. All these
Mr.
little
T.
T kids. It was fun.
That's right, T. It's too good.
73 degrees and 35 minutes west launch. Come on, Claremont. What are you doing this for?
You do.
Come on. Yeah, Chris Claremont, he's a goof. Chuck says Pink Panther has a lot of baby mamas. That's very true. Or roughly 1,300 miles due north of the trawler Arcadia. Join me for a swim, Kurt?
I'll pass. Danke, Roro. Water and fur don't mix.
So you don't bathe? You don't... What's going on there, pal?
He smells like sulfur all
That's right.
the time.
Pity. The night is turning chill.
Here's your towel.
Bless you. I'm still not used to feeling cold.
The professor says your powers are completely gone.
But speaking of things I feel, as you wrap your arms around me in this towel, is that your prehensile tail, or are you happy to see me? What's going on there, pal? Fuzzy elf, a whole new meaning to that. Yeah, this is quite the intimate moment there.
It is actually, and like I get what they were trying to go at, with the friendship, but I mean, it's also it's true.
I mean, they have a brother-sister thing, as does Colossus and Aurora, and
Sure.
there's nothing obviously wrong with them having a flirt once in a while. I'm just having a laugh at it because it's overtly sexual, so I'm enjoying that.
Sure.
But anyway. So can you do Kurt's line again? I've been distracted.
The professor says your powers are completely gone.
As if they had never been. The genetic potential exists. My children, or theirs, may someday command the weather, as I did. But not I. This is not the end of my world. Sorry, this is not the end of the world, my darling elf. Or even mine. I am a grown woman. I have survived. I will survive.
Aurora, I asked the professor to call a special meeting of the X-Men.
So? I am no longer a mutant. There is no longer any place for me here.
Perhaps not, for any of us. Do it as a favor to me, then. I need you by my side this last time more than ever.
They still at it, Rachel?
Uh-huh. Keep your voice down, Ileana. They'll hear.
The X-Men and the Prof have been in his study for hours.
They called Wolverine in Japan, but he refused to come home. Something's up. Kitty's over there, too. But he won't tell what, and he insisted he'd handle it himself.
See the Kitty Wolverine miniseries. On sale now.
Ooh.
Sounds real grim. I hope Kitty's okay. What does all this mean?
They're arguing, Roberto, so it can't be good.
That's my Brazilian accent, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Thank you. Ours is a private discussion, children.
Professor Xavier?
The hour is long past your bedtime. Please return to your rooms. I'll answer any questions in the morning. Good night. You coming, Rachel? When he uses that tone of voice, he means business.
I know. Go ahead, Ileana. I'll be okay. I'm a telepath, Professor, just like you. I couldn't shield 3 sets of thoughts from your psi scans. Hiding myself alone is another matter entirely. I know you'll be angry with me. I don't care. I have to know. It wasn't the supervillain that maimed Storm, Herr Professor, but the United States government.
It was a tragic accident, Nightcrawler. Nothing more.
When Senator Robert Kelly's Mutant Affairs Control Act was introduced, No one took it seriously, yet today it is given a better than even chance of being enacted into law. We live in the last quarter of the 20th century, in an age where men have walked on the moon and some of us journeyed to the stars. We have split the atom, the secrets of space and time are ours for the asking. Yet when you found me, not so many years ago, I was being hunted by a mob who wanted to drive a stake through my heart because they believed I was a demon. I hoped joining the X-Men would make a difference, that things would get better for mutant kind. Instead, they've gotten worse. We are still hated, still hounded by the very people who we have sworn to protect. So I find myself asking why. What's the point?
Would you rather follow Magneto's way by conquering the world and enslaving humanity?
In truth, I'd rather not be bothered at all. If the world cares nothing for mutants, fine. The feeling's mutual.
What of the X-Men?
What of us? Forgive me, but who needs us? What purpose do we serve? The school, yes, that fulfills a desperate need. Young mutants must be taught the use of their powers. But as for the rest, let the Avengers, the Fantastic Four handle that burden. The populace, they're accepted. Leave us, then, to live in peace.
Do you really think running away is the answer?
At least I'll be living for myself and the woman I love, instead of some amorphous dream. Does that sound selfish? Well, I feel I've earned the right. We all have. Look at us, Professor. Of the X-Men you gathered. Banshee and Strained, Thunderbird killed, Jean Grey killed. Where will it end? That's a great, by the way, great Nightcrawler moment.
Yeah,
just
you also
questioning all that, speaking out on what everyone's kind of maybe thinking.
Yeah, no, that was beautiful. You did a really nice read. I was feeling it.
Thanks, Bill. Killed? Jean Grey killed? Jean Grey dead? No. No.
And that's the cover, right? There we go.
That's the cover. Now we know, because it's on page 17.
Yeah.
Now we know. You're lying, Nightcrawler. Lying. Take back what you said. Tell me it isn't true. Ah!
Rachel, projecting cybolts as formidable as my own. She isn't this powerful normally, but rage and, I sense, grief have given her berserker strength. Rachel, stop this. Get a hold of yourself, child. You're killing them.
Please, let it be a lie. It has to be. I spoke to my dad. I heard Mom's voice. She's alive.
Whoa. And that's another piece to that idea that Madeline Pryor is not just another completely random woman, right?
Exactly. That's what that was my thought exactly reading this as well. Good. Alive, my friend. I just want to lie here a while and get used to it.
Rachel.
It's impossible, Aurora. Jean Grey can't be dead.
Why not, child?
She's my mom. I'm so sorry, Nightcrawler. I never intentionally hurt you. You know that, don't you? I mean, you're my favorite fuzzy elf, who told me bedtime stories when I was a kid and took me to the circus. Or really? Scout's honor. Only none of that has happened yet. I guess now it never will. You can't give up. The X-Men are important, not because you're superheroes, but because you're mutant superheroes. You people think you got it rough? Give me a break. You got no idea. Take a look at the world I come from. The future that may yet lie in wait for us all if we don't do anything, while there's still time and hope.
She opens her mind to them, revealing a lovely summer morning. As Kurt and his wife, Amanda, escort a 14-year-old Ileana Rasputin to the school's bus stop, they never reach it. And seconds later, an artillery barrage levels the mansion itself. Get downstairs, Rachel. You'll be safe in the danger room.
Not without you, Professor.
I cannot. I must try to stop this slaughter. We mean no harm. We surrender. In mercy's name, cease fire.
The soldiers found me in the ruins. By his side, the only survivor. They used drugs to neutralize my psi talent. The torture came later, in prison. Eventually, I was sent to the South Bronx Containment Facility, a concentration camp. In my past, the anti-mutant persecution began with the assassination by mutants of Senator Robert Kelly. I exchanged the adult Kate Pryde's psyche with that of her younger self. She saved Kelly, but you know that. You guys helped her. The rest of us in the future weren't so lucky. When Kate's mind returned to her body, only I was left to welcome her. Well, the future when Katya and I were married? Does that mean there is hope for us still? Is that what I want? With respect, Rachel, you've proved my case. What do I owe a world that is willing, eager to slaughter me and everyone I love simply because we exist? She didn't mention me. I guess I wasn't part of the team. Did I survive, or was I dumped in some unmarked back alley grave?
Ouch.
All that horror, and it was Mystique's fault. My foster mom was a mutant who murdered Kelly.
All my hopes, all my dreams.
Thank heaven. In Rachel's future, I did not live to see them turned to ashes.
Finally, there was just me. I figured, what the heck, nothing to lose. Maybe I could time slip myself back a decade or two, only physically instead of psychically, like I did Kate, and try to prevent the future from coming to pass. I got what I wanted to go, when I wanted to go, but not quite where. Because this is in the past I remember. My Ileana should still be a kid, not a teenager. My star never cut her hair or lost her powers. My mom, a lot here is different, but a lot is the same, and some of it is worse. There were those among us who wanted only vengeance. They wanted the scales balanced in fire and blood, life for life. But the X-Men stood for something better. They never lost hope, no matter what. Because of them, Professor Xavier's dream of a world where normal and mutant could live in peace and fellowship, where there wouldn't be any distinction between them, we'd all just be human, never died. If you turn away from that dream, Kurt, you'll do more damage than you know. We may be doomed. Ours may be a lost cause. But sometimes the way we live and die is more important than the simple fact of it. Give up now and all those sacrifices in my world as much as yours have been for nothing.
What is that classic saying you're fond of quoting, Kurt? With great power comes great responsibility.
Want it or not, like it or not. Very well, Professor. For the dream.
Thank you, my son, with all my heart. Look how big Colossus is.
He's massive there. Which I love seeing. I love seeing big Colossus.
Yeah, me too.
You
Me
know,
too.
it's good.
Give me some cases of blues. So
So he said,
How much?
"Don't pull me, chum. Your ice is fresher than those fish."
Junior, call the office.
Hey, Mom.
So we catch a game after or what?
We gotta swing by my place on our way to pick up my boy.
Jaime?
I promise, Duke. He's got A's on his report card.
Watching you goons the crate. Cute, real cute.
Just a second. Don't get in an uproar, boss. You'll give yourself a coronary. I'll clean this up. Hey, what's that? Something weird about that fish. Don't look so special. Why, a Holy Mary! Jaime Rodriguez, you just hit the jackpot.
Hearken, O man. I am power. Don me. Obey me. And the world is yours.
Hey, all right.
Next,
Danny
two
Zuko
girls
from
out
Greece.
to have fun.
That's right.
That's crazy.
What do you mean the bank is out of money?
I do not know if you want to read the entire thing. It's like Nightcrawler is the one who gets to narrate. I have not read any of the letters page. You know what? It's okay.
Hey, there is a letter here from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada, though.
That's pretty awesome.
That's kind of neat, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Is it from the Bertuzzi family?
It's from the Bertuzzis of Sudbury.
Wow, they're talking about his origin. They're always talking about Nightcrawler's origin.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Thoughts on the issue?
So, I was thinking about this today. About the Dire Wraiths storyline is not my favorite. I think there are parts of it I like the Forge Storm stuff. But as a threat and as a response to it, I mean, it does really feel like it's part of a different arc. It is, and they're just kind of sandwiched in. You know, here's the 3 issues on Dire Wraiths, and so it just kind of I don't know. I don't think it really stands out very well, truthfully. Aside from the Forge Storm, yeah.
Herb Tremont Legend P. Thank you for the shout out there. That's nice to get some positivity. We do this for so much fun of our own, so I'm glad you're enjoying it too. So thank you for that. What do you mean the bank's out of money?
What do you mean the bank? Well, I haven't got your money. It's Fred's house. It's a Bill's house. What the hell are you doing with my money, Fred?
So Chuck says, so other than there are issues to publish, what was the point of the Dire Wraiths story? Yeah. Last part of the mansion was money, though. Agreed 100%. I think we've come to maybe a common place where we enjoy those in between, like decompression, the drama of the characters and what they're going through and how they're trying to figure stuff out. I like the stuff in the mansion a lot most of the time. I like all the characters and just their interplay. And this was a particularly good one. I mean, having Kurt question the purpose, like it's the right thing. It's a good conversation to have. The Dire Wraiths thing felt like a really weird, ham-fisted inclusion of those ROM characters. On kayfabe, they often use the phrase "hot shot," which is like a wrestling term. So using a successful title to boost the sales of another. So perhaps it was to like get some readers to jump over to ROM so that they want to know more about the Dire Wraiths trying to take over Earth to boost ROM sales. That might have been one of the reasons, it being a ROM tie-in. But other than that, it did not add anything to the Storm story coming out of Life Death. She could have just walked out and come home, and that would have been fine. And there you go. So, right, Jason agrees. There you go. It was a ROM tie-in. They were ending the ROM series with several tie-ins, and that's why the Wraiths. There you go. Yeah, the tie-ins. So I get it. It's unfortunate, but it didn't. Yeah, that conflict. Like I often talk to you about the role of an antagonist is to reveal the truth of the hero, like to help them figure out who they really are in some way. This did not reveal anything about any of the characters. It just revealed the truth to me that Ramita doesn't like drawing monsters. That's what I think. But that's my opinion of the moment. Take it for what it is. But I really loved all the stuff with Rachel and Nightcrawler and Storm in the Towel, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm kind of interested to know more about Ileana too. like the idea that her armor is building each time she uses her soul sword, and kind of, I'm into it.
Mhm.
I'm into it. Barry says his
And
spell check is possessed by the Dire Wraiths. Don't worry about it, man. We knew what you meant.
And Chuck mentions earlier too. Is like, so do we know Rachel's story now? Like, because we get this like 3-page recap of Days of Future Past ish outcomes, I guess.
Oh, sorry, I missed that one, man. I missed a couple of them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Oh, I missed a bunch of comments. I was listening. I was captivated by your reading there. Barry says, okay, so he's greeting. Sorry, he's late. I was expecting the worst. So I'll be hopefully rewarded for my little. Oh, this is about the movie. Right. He's talking about the Deadpool movie. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So do we know Rachel's story at this point? No, we know exactly what has come out now. That she is this time jumping character that is expecting to go back to her past, like go back into the past and see the world that was before, but only to get there and realize that nothing is the same. Her dad's with a new wife, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're learning about her. And of course, as we learn more about her and see what upsets her, we have more empathy for the character. So we care more about her, which is good. Yeah, it's good. Oh, look at that. Are you doing X-Men Alpha Flight before you do 190, 191? Okay, I will open the schedule.
Yeah, we got a whole thing going on here.
I do. They are in this volume.
Mm-hmm.
They're in this volume, as well as the fact that I have the originals from I got them as a kid. So I put them in terms of our reading schedule. I put them where they fall in this volume. Let me just open up that account on my thing, and I can see when we're doing it, because it's good to know if obviously if Jason needs to know, I got to tell him. Right now we are 188, and it's Feb 13th. We got a little while, actually. We are going to finish. So I can tell you, we're going to finish 192, and then the week after 192, we're going to do the Kitty Pryde Wolverine recap of the entire series, the entire 6-issue series in one episode, just because it's not a great. It wouldn't be fun to read all 6 issues, but it's worth covering. There's a lot of plot and changes to the characters, so we want to at least cover something. Then the week after that is going to be Annual 8 of X-Men. Then X-Men Alpha Flight number 1 and X-Men Alpha Flight number 2. So to answer your question, no, after 192, there's still a couple things we got to cover. So it'll be, truthfully, April 2nd will be part 1 of Alpha Flight X-Men, or X-Men Alpha Flight number 1. And those are double-sized issues, so they're going to be... it'll take 2 episodes, and each episode will be a little bit thicker, just given that they're double-sized. So I'm excited to get all the way to April. That'll be a special one, too. That'll be a special treat on April 2nd and April 9th. That's the schedule. Who knows what's going to happen between now and then? It might throw us off. Maybe... we'll have to, reschedule that to accommodate Chris Claremont himself and Paul Smith, who want to come on the show and talk about those issues. I do not know, but that is the short list of things coming up. I needed to get those in order because there are a lot of things that are kind of interfering with the. I don't want to say interfering. A lot of things that are adding to the tapestry of the grander Chris Claremont X-Men run in the next 2 months. So that should be a blast. I actually can't wait to read those again. I can't wait. They're really weird, but I love them. And
speaking of Claremont,
yes,
as we often do on this show, I just picked up his new series, Wolverine. He's back at it. Has written Madripoor Nights, which is a direct sequel to the events of 288, X-Men 288.
Yeah, what happens in 288? Do you mean 268 or 258?
What's the one? I thought it was 288. Is it wrong? With the cover of Black Widow and Wolverine and Cap? Which one is that? Together again for the last time, beginning the first time.
Oh man, you're making me go get it.
I think it's 288. You did the
288.
homage.
I know I did the homage. It's not 288.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No. Oh man, you're killing me. It's actually in the box. It's downstairs.
278.
Nope.
All right.
Nope. It's 268.
Two.
It's not here. It's downstairs, but it's not here.
268.
Yeah. Yeah, I have two
point
small boxes of Uncanny X-Men, and we're still in my first box, and it's
apparently this series is a direct. Just the next what happens like the next day. Or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's weird.
It is weird.
In if anyone's read 268, Black Widow's a kid in that story, right? She's a wee one, so
she's young. Yeah.
The idea of her being on the cover as like an adult was more like, I don't know. It wasn't meant to be literal. It was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Madripoor Nights. It feels very uninspired to me. You know, it's like a tie-in with Deadpool, right? He's going to be in Madripoor for that moment.
Yep.
It's what else?
And you get a pre Jim Lee Psylocke in it too, by the way.
A pre Jim Lee Psylocke. What do you mean?
Yeah, design wise.
Right, where she hasn't been changed into a hand assassin. Right. It's like the British Betsy Braddock.
Yeah, Betsy Braddock. Yeah, but she's like another like telepath or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And all I could think of it when I was reading it was like, because we haven't got to that part of the X-Men with Betsy Braddock as Psylocke, and I was like, do they always need a telepath lady on this team? It seems like they do.
Yes,
and it gets a bit much.
It is. You know what? It really does add a lot, though. Like having that kind of character around.
Right.
It really helps with the functionality of the team. It doesn't have to be a woman.
No.
But now I'm flipping through because there was a comment that I want to dispute. And if I want to see if I have the means to do so, let's see. Oh, I do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There was a comment that said, first Jim Lee X-Men. Okay. See right there? That's 248. That's Jim Lee as penciler.
Okay.
That's the first Jim Lee X-Men. But you know what? I think, though, that the other one, 268 is the first one where he's like on as series penciler. This was a guest spot.
Gotcha.
This was like a tryout kind of thing. He did Alpha Flight just before this one.
Okay.
A couple issues of Alpha Flight, and I was reading Alpha Flight. I was like, oh, this guy's he's good. And when I saw him come on X-Men, I was excited. And then, once he takes over the series, I was like, I'm out. The stories got so crazy. But you know what? I'm really looking forward to over the next bunch of years, like where you and we get there. And I want to see if they hold up in a reread as opposed to like a reread in context as opposed to what I experienced when I was 14, which is a whole other thing. Sure. Yeah, it was just before Jim Lee exploded, and that's not your bad, man. Barry says, thanks, my bad. All good. We're just talking X-Men. And when we can remember all those little details, it usually means we need some new information in our head. Like we should be thinking of other things. And then I shouldn't know which one is this first. I need to learn something new. So I forget.
You got like your kids' names in there too. Things. You don't want to push too many.
Yeah, for sure. Now there's so much cool stuff to go over. And so, did you enjoy the first issue of Madripoor Nights?
Yeah, it was fun.
There's nothing there, huh?
No, I only really picked it up. I mean, because we're in this Claremont space, and we've been doing a lot of, as we talked about, we're doing a lot of like these other miniseries, and so I was just curious. more than anything. But like, I mean, sure.
Okay, that's a raving recommendation from you. Yeah,
yeah. That's. Like, have you seen my comics channel where I just review comics and go, yeah, sure, whatever, why not? Sure, I guess.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to pick it up unless it got a great review.
Yeah.
I'm all good with that stuff. That's fine.
It's no Transformers.
Sure, Daniel Warren Johnson on Transformers.
Daniel Warren Johnson, like Spicer.
Again, that one feels inspired, right? Like he really loves doing it. So, but we'll continue with more X-Men, as I still do feel there are a lot more stories to tell in this world that Claremont is creating.
Speaking of X-Men comics, though, just because on the topic of it, I did pre-order or put on my pull list the new Ultimate X-Men, which is Peach Momoko, because I really liked her run. She did that Demon Days X-Men about a year and a half ago, where it's all Japanese mythologically inspired X-Men stories, basically.
Yeah, and Wolverine was
and Marvel Universe too, not just X-Men, but
right.
So I'm curious about this, and I think the first it's Armor. Armor's on the cover. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
cool. And I like her style, Peach's style, anyway. But
they will be making
there you are
Peach comics at Marvel as long as she's willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. She's super talented and she has a really rich fan base.
Yeah.
She brings people into Marvel who wouldn't be buying Marvel books, and is a nice, as Toy Rensu says, a refreshing thing for Marvel readers too. So it's like a win-win for everybody. As long as she's willing to do it, there will be Peach Momoko X-Men or Marvel comics, which is really, really cool. Barry's telling us that Jim Lee signed his comic way back before he exploded, before he got huge. And he says almost 40 years. Jim signed those Mandarin issues when he signed it in a big pen before going to Silver Pen. Must have made a nice mark if you had to push a little too hard on those covers. Yeah, that's a long time ago. Yeah, more stuff to clog the canon. Definitely. I hear you. There's so much out there, so much to remember from those days. I'm really liking the magic elements and then the cosmic elements and the superhero. Like, I like how at this moment in time, Claremont is using this series to tell whatever kind of story he wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the X-Men, it's not just mutants against mutants. Like, he's not fixated on just telling a mutant story, but there's so much going on. And characters coming in from other dimensions, demon characters, witches, like time travelers, alien races. Like, it's just everything that he can possibly conceive of with just those protagonists going through whatever they have to go through. So I find that to be a lot of fun, that he's not limiting to just members of the team. Like, there's a supporting cast that just continues to be richer and richer all the time. And I'm into it. I want to see where it goes next. Yeah.
I'll tell you where it goes. 189.
Yeah, 189. Speaking of next, I think it's time to wrap up, don't you think?
I think it might be.
I know you. Is your puppy still awake or fast asleep?
I think she's asleep right now, but I gotta go wake her up, take her outside. I think.
Nice. So, Chris, you got a new puppy this week. The beautiful little Brioche, and
Brioche.
I can't wait to meet her as soon as I possibly can. I will eat the puppy.
Yes.
Before I eat your dog,
it's hard for me not to right now. She's so cuddly.
Oh yeah, she looks amazing. I see Torrance who says, "Good show, lads. Thanks, man." Jason Jose asks, "Did you see the documentary about Claremont's run on X-Men?" Yes, it is. I believe on Prime, or is it on Tubi? One of those things up here where I saw it a couple times and I found it interesting. Torrance says, "Glad you guys are back." Me too, man. I really enjoy doing this every week. It's been a pleasure and good to hang out with my buddy Chris and to chat with you all in the chat. It's a real pleasure we get to do this, and I love reading these old comics, so we're really happy to do this for you. Great job, fellas. See everyone next time. Take care, all. You too, sir. I will be at Wayside Comics and Cocktails in Newmarket, Ontario, which is a couple cities north of Toronto, a couple municipalities north of Toronto. I'll be there all day Saturday, along with 3 other really fun and talented comic creators. Wayside Comics and Cocktails serve some good drinks, so I will be swimming.
That store looks awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
aside from, I mean, I kind of obviously I wish I could be there with you. I'll have to get another round, but like just seeing the photos for doing creators every week and like seeing Wayside Comics on Instagram, by the way, if you're curious, check that out. The store itself, the space looks great. Like looks like spacious and social and like anyway. I mean, yeah, have a great time, man.
Thanks, man. I'm looking forward to report the experience. I love comic shops. And Wayside, the owner there, Omar, he seems to be doing like all of February, like a spotlight on different creators each Saturday. And he's had about 3 or 4 people in tabling each Saturday. And so I'll be there with our friend and probably upcoming guest, Jerome Cabanatan, John Berg, and Cross-Eyed Comics. I'm trying to remember what his last name is. Do you know Cross-Eyed Comics? Have you met him before?
No, I haven't. Not to my knowledge.
Super nice guy. His name is Doug. I'm just trying to remember what his last name is because I want to do Doug Knight. Okay. So Doug Knight, Jerome Cabanatan, and John Berg will be joining. I'll be joining them, I should say, and to be selling X-Men homage prints. Sketches, probably some Batman drawings. Of course, Group of 7 and Most Secret Tale copies will be there. Londinium is sold out. Hunter's Moon is not. So there'll be copies of Hunter's Moon.
It's
what else?
It's getting there though.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got cards. We've got a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, of course. In Peregrines, part 1 and 2 in issues 7 and 8 of Group of 7 Comics. It'll be a fun day. I'm looking forward to it. That's Saturday. And then after that, what do we got? March 15th through 17th, we'll be at the Metro Toronto Convention Center at Toronto Comic-Con, and that should be a blast as well. Full force of fan culture for 3 days in a massive event. And probably some news coming up soon about April 7th, but I don't have any details yet other than time and place. But it's not been announced yet.
There you go.
That weekend, April 7th, I think we'll be somewhere as well on the Sunday. Anything else there, Christopher?
No, I think we're good.
All right.
Good.
Go Leafs.
Yeah.
All right. Let's call it a night before I take my pants off. All right. See y'all next week. Have a good one. If you're going to read some comics, keep them X. And we'll go from there. Cheers, everyone. Thank you.